Now, as abortion decisions moved to individual states, many wasted no time with existing trigger laws. Now, one of those states is South Dakota, and its Governor Kristi Noem joins me now. Governor, great to see you tonight. Now, yours is one of the few states making abortion illegal immediately, with few exceptions. Your response to those, including the president today, who said it puts women's lives in jeopardy.
Well, Laura, let's remember that today is a wonderful day. Today is a day of good news, something that many people have waited many, many years to have happen, that lives would be saved. In South Dakota, we had a trigger law already in statute, and what it said was that abortions would be illegal except to save the life of a mother at the moment that Roe v. Wade was overturned. So as of today, that trigger law goes into effect, and we are focusing a lot on supporting mothers, on supporting individuals who find themselves in an unplanned pregnancy or a crisis situation, and making sure that we're connecting them to the resources that we have.
What is the approach that your state will take in the event that a woman seeks to have a chemical abortion or abortion through medication, maybe getting medication in the mail? Because you've heard a lot of Democrats today saying that they will not allow that to stop or be stopped by the states. In other words, I guess interstate mail and so forth. What will your response to that be?
Well, the statute and the language that we use will be specific to being utilized for an abortion that is going to be referenced to that does not save the life of a mother. So that's one of the things that I and legislative leaders have been working on. We believe that we'll call into a special session because of this decision that came out today, and there may be some language that we want to address during that special session. And also, I launched a website today called life.sd.gov, which puts resources out there and information like this to those individuals that are in these situations and connects them to medical help. It connects them to adoptive services to make sure that people really do have the information that they need at their fingertips. But Laura, this year in legislative session, I brought a bill that dealt with chemical abortions to make sure that people were going to be protected from this dangerous situation of getting drugs through the mail and being unsupervised for that medical procedure.
Will there be potential criminal penalties for doctors and or women who obtain an abortion in that manner, or who conduct an abortion contrary to state law?
Yeah, our penalties are focused on the doctor that performs the abortion. I don't think our message here today should ever be on punishing mothers. I would like to see that we focus on making sure that those doctors who knowingly perform abortions when they know it's against the law, that they are punished. And that's some of the statute that we'll be looking at as we go into a special session.
Governor Noem, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.